Hey, what's going on, Disney Cruisers? Hey, happy weekend. I want to get into some things today on the stateroom. But before we do that, I've talked before on port arrival time, all aboard time, when you need to be at the port, and all these sorts of things. I noticed we got our recent luggage tags in the mail. We're sailing on the Treasure here in several weeks. And in that, you get the postcard that comes with it. I happen to read it, turn it over, flip it over, read it, and there's some new information on your all aboard time. It actually slid, not by much, 15 minutes. So you got to be there 15 minutes earlier, prior to the new all aboard time. So when you get this in the mail, this is a postcard that comes in with your luggage tags. Flip that over, read it on the back. I'm going to read it to you so we don't get anything wrong and you understand completely what Disney Cruise Line is saying. All guests must arrive at their scheduled port arrival time, which we know, and no later than 1 hour before 15:45 or 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1 hour before 2:45 p.m., you must arrive at the port no later than 2:45 p.m. Guests arriving before their port arrival time will be asked to return later. So if you arrive at 10:30, but your port arrival time is not till 2 o'clock, you're going to ask to come back later. Guests without proper citizenship documentation and those arriving late. So if you arrive after 2:45, you arrive 3 o'clock, 3:30, you're going to be denied boarding. Save this mailer to reference during your travel. So keep this with your luggage tags or wherever you're going to travel, your day pack, your day bag, your purse, backpack, whatever it is, simply so you have it for reference. Again, it slid 15 minutes earlier. 15:45 is the all aboard time. 1 hour prior is 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Cape Canaveral time, port time, Disney Cruise Line time, whatever you want to call it. Be aware of that. This applies to Port Canaveral, so if you're sailing on the Treasure or the Fantasy anytime soon, there you go. All right, what I want to get into today is going to be the stateroom. What can I do, know, understand? I'm booking my first Disney cruise. All about the staterooms. There are 31 different stateroom categories. But oh my goodness, we're going to remove the noise and talk about that. So, Disney cruising, stateroom choice, let's go.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife.
All right, hey, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Disney Cruise fans. Welcome to the show. My name is David. I am your host, and this is the Bare Necessities. All right, hey, we've got about 40 days or so till we jump on the Treasure. But I was thinking about, what is something else out there that we need to give into the hands of that first-time cruiser? We've talked about, and I'll make a link to the playlist. We've talked about all kinds of things from A to Z, if you will, from booking that first Disney cruise to when it's time to get off the ship, disembarkation, and being prepared. But we haven't gone into detail on staterooms. And pretty much here's why. When you break it down, there are 31 different stateroom categories for a Disney ship. Oh my God, that is too much to talk about, too much to get into, way deep dive on some things that, just really don't matter. You're a first-time cruiser and you want to know, hey, what do I need to know to book a good stateroom on a Disney ship? All right, well, let's break it down. We're not going to get into 31 different categories. How about we break it down into 4 categories, right? Easier that way. We'll go with inside stateroom. On your inside stateroom, whether you're on the Wish class ships or you're on the Dream and the Fantasy. Dream and the Fantasy, you're going to have a lovely magic mirror over the bed inside the inside stateroom. The fun part with that magic mirror is it's just a camera that's set up to take the view from the bridge. Whatever the captain sees, you will see inside that magic mirror. And from time to time, you'll have a Disney character pop his head inside that magic mirror. But on the Wish class ships, oh my goodness, gorgeous little design. The TV location, probably not the best, but Wish class ships, inside stateroom, you have a couple different categories. You have standard and deluxe. Now, inside category standard and deluxe, the difference is going to be square footage, little bit more room in the deluxe, makes sense. And then standard, whether it's category 10 or 11, and that's how Disney does it, 10 or 11 for inside. And then you have A and B. What does that mean? In any of the categories, you get into A, B, C, D, E. Simply put, A is a better location on the ship, all the way down through E when you get into some of the veranda categories. And we don't need to worry about that. Like I said, we're going to worry about 4. Inside, ocean view, veranda, and then your most luxurious, concierge. You get into the inside, which we just discussed. You have a standard inside stateroom on deck 2. And then you have a standard inside stateroom on deck 10. Exactly the same square footage, but the difference is location, location, location. Deck 10 versus deck 2. And that's going to be true of all of the staterooms. The better you are on the ship for location, the more it's going to cost. If you think of it this way, you think of a hotel all the way up at the penthouse. They will fill the hotel from the penthouse on down to floor 1. Same thing on a ship, whether it's deck 10, 11, or 12, 13, or higher. Concierge all the way down to deck 2, deck 3, whatever their bottom number is on that particular ship. On Disney, you're going to find it to be deck 2. After inside, you're going to get into ocean view. Ocean view on the Disney ships, you can get a wonderful, wonderful ocean view stateroom on a great location, deck 9, deck 10, deck 5, midship, aft, whatever the case may be. When you get into a deluxe ocean view stateroom, just know that's going to be a little bit more than a standard ocean view stateroom or basic ocean view stateroom. It'll come and say deluxe ocean view stateroom, and then even bigger than that will be deluxe family ocean view stateroom. Standard only applies to inside. Then you hit the deluxe category. Deluxe applies to standard. Deluxe applies to inside, ocean view, veranda, and concierge. Then you get into deluxe family. The difference again, a little bit more square footage. With the ocean view, some of them, especially on the Dream class, the Dream and the Fantasy, you're going to have large ocean view windows. Matter of fact, you can sit in these ocean view windows. And then you have a couple special categories, and I'll highlight those. Some people wonder, oh my goodness, that is such a gorgeous room. Where do I find that? Specific to the Dream and the Fantasy, you have what's called a 8A category. On this ship, these ocean views are laid out a little bit different, and you have just 2 large, beautiful ocean view windows. And these are some of what I would call a hidden gem on these ships. You get into then the veranda category, right? You move over to the veranda, especially on the Dream and the Fantasy class ships. Again, you get into the categories of A, B, C, D, E. Closer you are to the front of the alphabet, A is the better location. E is the less location, if you will. However, a few hidden gems on the Dream and the Fantasy class ship is going to be on deck 5 aft at the back of the ship. And here's why. You are just beyond the kids club, and they've created almost like a cul-de-sac on that one side, which is your starboard side if you're on the ship. There's about 6 or 8 rooms there, both port and starboard, but starboard specifically, you're in a cul-de-sac, meaning you turn that corner, you go up that hallway, and then that's the end because you're bumping up against the kids' club wall. Those staterooms have an oversized, extended veranda. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous sized veranda. And it's the same price as a normal one. The difference is you're on deck 5, you're not on deck 10. So it's not going to be as expensive, honestly, as deck 10 because it's location. It just happens to be the design of the ship. So a sweet location with extra size veranda. Now, here's one small piece of advice I want to give to you, help you out. When you're booking a veranda, and let's say there's 1 adult and 2 children. The 2 children are teenagers, 1 boy, 1 girl, 1 adult. When you look for that stateroom, or you have your travel agent look for that stateroom, or Disney Cruise Line look for that stateroom, you're going to want to get one with the loft, which is probably going to be your alpha category. So your veranda, deluxe, family, ocean view with veranda, a 4 alpha, something like that, 5 alpha. And here's why. The alpha signifies you're going to have a Deluxe family ocean view. Alpha is your better location, but deluxe family, a little bit bigger than a regular family ocean view stateroom. A deluxe family, large, more square footage, but you had that loft that comes down out of the ceiling. And I'll put a picture up here. The loft that comes down out of the ceiling allows you to have, if you have two teenagers, 12, 14, whatever the age difference is, right? You don't want the boy and the girl like, ew, no, Dad, we're not doing that. Mom, we're not doing that. No, no. And rightfully so. They want and should have their own bed, right? Just like at home. The loft is his own bed, comes down out of the ceiling, however smaller, probably the younger one, gets to sleep in the loft, and the other one sleeps on the pull-out couch or the futon, whatever it is. And I say this because lesson learned 2017, we jumped on the fantasy, and I booked for 3 of us, and I never thought to say, hey, I got 1 teenage boy, 1 teenage girl. They just figured 2 teenagers, put it out, booked it. My mistake. I should have clearly delineated that. So when we got to the port and I saw that, we had to switch rooms, not a big deal. They made that change. We made the adjustment. But for future reference, I was like, you know what? Absolutely. I need to make sure that there's a loft or Murphy bed and the fold-down futon or a pull-out couch, whatever that looks like. All right. That is veranda. And then the last category, as you know, is concierge. Concierge, you get into many different. Matter of fact, I said 31 categories for all staterooms. Concierge, in and of itself, has 9 different categories. But again, not going to get into all of those, right? Let's just get into the stateroom categories. As I mentioned, we'll go with 4 general. You have your inside, your ocean view, your veranda, and your concierge, right? Now, within those, standard applies to inside only, and you're going to have your categories 11 Alpha Bravo Charlie, 10 Alpha. Don't worry about all those. Let's get rid of the noise. Standard, inside category, that is your smallest stateroom on any cruise ship, for that matter. Standard inside category on a Disney ship is your smallest and probably going to be your least expensive. I have another video that we talked about some of the costs and expenses for the different types of staterooms, and I'll post that link up here once we get to the end. You get into your inside category deluxe. You have more space. And this is where Disney starts that split bath. If you've sailed with Disney before, you know they have that split bath and everybody loves it. If you have not sailed with Disney, this will be your first experience with a split bath and you're going to love it. Split bath simply means 2 different bathrooms. One has the shower, the other one has a toilet, but you can get ready in both of them at the same time. So if you have more than 2 people in there, you just take your turn getting ready for dinner, the shows, whatever it is, inside, because you have 2 different restrooms to get ready in. All right, then you get into your ocean view category. You have deluxe. Then you get into deluxe family. Your deluxe family is going to have more space, and it's going to sleep up to 5 people. Right, and then you're going to get into your deluxe for veranda. Veranda simply means you have a balcony now. And then you have your deluxe family ocean view with veranda. Again, more space, going to sleep 5. You have a veranda. After that, you get into concierge. Concierge is broken up in a couple of different ways. There's no ocean view per se category. You just call it deluxe family concierge. But in the case of the Wish class ships, you have deluxe family concierge ocean view or deluxe family concierge veranda. And I say that because on the Wish class, you have some ocean view verandas on deck 11 all the way up at the front of the ship, and you have the same view that the captain has from the bridge that's only 1 deck higher. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous view. After that, you get into the 1-bedroom or the 2-bedroom suites. Then you get into the Royal Suites, and then you get into the huge tower suites on the new Wish class ships. But again, let's do a quick recap. Not all 31, right? We'll get into your standard, inside, ocean view, veranda, and then concierge. Within those, within the inside category, you're going to have standard and deluxe. You get into ocean view, veranda, and higher. It always starts with deluxe. The difference is here you have deluxe family. Deluxe family simply means more square footage. And again, if you're traveling with, I mentioned 3 or 4, whatever it is, if you have 2 teenagers, 1 boy, 1 girl, you want to look for that deluxe family and either the E or the A category, but you absolutely want to find that deluxe family ocean view that has that loft that comes down out of the ceiling. Now, if you look at review pictures online, I'll show you one here. You can see the loft in the background. Some of the other ones, especially on the Dream and the Fantasy, just beyond that, and before you go out onto the back deck, there's going to be a Murphy bed that comes down. That's again, if you're traveling with children, teenagers, 13, 14, 15, they're going to want their own bed. They're going to be like, Mom or Dad or Aunt, Uncle, or Grandma. We're not. Sally and Johnny are not sharing a pull-out couch, right? After that, you get into the concierge, the deluxe family concierge, 1 or 2 bedroom suites, on and on. All right, that is everything I can think of to make it simple, to break it down so we don't get into 31 different stateroom categories. My goodness. Again, just think of A to E. A simply means better location. E is still a great room, just not the location of the A category, meaning I can have a 4 alpha deluxe family ocean view. Let's say it's on deck 7 or 8, midship. I'm going to pay more for that because it's an A on deck 7, where if I went on to deck 4, maybe deck 5, depending which ship I'm on, still the same veranda, maybe it's called Delta or Echo, but it costs less because I'm not on deck 10 or 11. I'm down on deck 5 or 6. Hope that makes sense. Same way you think of a hotel, they want to fill it up from the top to the bottom, or in a cruise ship, top to bottom. Now there are 3 more categories to quickly discuss, and those are your guaranteed. Your guaranteed are going to come in your veranda, your ocean view, and your inside. So if you go online, you think, hey, you know what, let's just go next month, and you go online and you look and you're like, oh my goodness, there's only guaranteed staterooms left, that's all that there is. And they're going to call it an IGT, a VGT, or an OGT, which simply means inside guaranteed, ocean view guaranteed, or veranda guaranteed. Here's what that means. You book a guaranteed stateroom. You decide to do that. I want you to pay attention to all the details listed in a guaranteed stateroom. And here's why. You go in there, you look at it, you book that cost. Let's say it's $1,900 for an inside guaranteed stateroom. Just know when you book that, you book it at that time. You're 1 month away. Final cost is due at the time of booking. There's no refunds. That sale is final. There's no moving it. You cannot upgrade. You cannot do whatever you booked. That's what you got until you get to the port, and I'll get there in a minute. So let's say you book it. You're 2 weeks away. You see somebody else. Hey, I jumped on the website today. It looks like somebody canceled. They have a veranda room. Let's upgrade. You can't. You're in a guaranteed. That sale is final. The only way to upgrade and move out of a guaranteed stateroom is on embarkation day. So you go to the port, and here's my example. I sailed on Disney Fantasy last December. I had a inside guaranteed stateroom. When I got there, got my room assignment, I was on the second deck, inside, handicap access. I checked about a week before, and I was not able to upgrade, change, modify, or anything, simply because, again, guaranteed stateroom. But when I got to the port, I did my normal check-in, I finished up, then I went over to the supervisor's counter at Port Canaveral. You can do this at Fort Lauderdale, San Diego, wherever you're sailing on a Disney cruise. Once you check in, go over to the supervisor's counter and see if there are any upgrades. I went over and I asked, are there any upgrades? She informed me, yes, there are upgrades. So I went from a inside guaranteed deck 2 handicap to a deck 10 veranda. And I was the only one sailing. I was like, absolutely, I'll take it. Now, there is an increased cost. There's always going to be an increased cost, especially if you're moving up, right? But it was only about $200 to move from inside guaranteed to deck 10 veranda. Absolutely. The only way I could go was up from deck 2, right? So I took that. But I just wanted you to be aware of the guaranteed staterooms and what that means. So again, if you book something that is guaranteed, know that you want to be content with that booking in case you get to the port and all the rooms are taken, they're sold out, or everybody in front of you that checked in before you, did their upgrades, so there's no more upgrades available. You need to know that, okay, we booked a veranda guaranteed, and if we get it and that's all we get, then we're good, and that's okay. Or ocean view guaranteed or inside guaranteed. If you book those, that's what you get. The only time you can change that is at the port. Prior to that, all the cancellation fees and everything else would apply if you canceled prior to your sailing, or even if you wanted to upgrade, you would have to completely cancel that booking, lose that fare, that cost. I mentioned $1,900, lose $1,900 to rebook a new room for the same sailing. So don't do that. Do not cancel a guaranteed stateroom. Take it, go to the port, check for upgrades while you're at the port. Okay, now I can say that is everything we can discuss for an understanding purposes on the staterooms. I know this hasn't been in the fun, exciting. This is more of an informative teaching moment, right? Hey, let's give out. It's like sit down in class with with me as your host, and we'll discuss everything on the staterooms. 4 categories: inside, ocean view, veranda, concierge, and then the subcategories for each. Your standard, which is for inside only, your deluxe, a little bit bigger, deluxe family, even bigger, more square footage, and then deluxe family for concierge, right? Oh my goodness. Your next sailing, enjoy as you're planning or booking your first Disney cruise. Again, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you appreciated it. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.